We're back. Right, welcome back. I was just messing around and I was trying to sort out. I'll tell you what we'll do first. I'll just show you what we've got. What we've done since the last video. The last video I was doing this boiler. If you remember, it's going out wonderfully. Had to do quite a few changes to the charcoal factory stroke farm. If you have a look here, I can't remember exactly how it was, but we was using a lot of red power with tubes and that lot. We've changed over to pipes basically, and we didn't seem to be getting enough wood from one farm, so we've split it up over two. Now, if I didn't build this farm where I did, I could have just put another upgrade in here, and that would have saved me a lot of time, but kind of wanted this layout like this, so that kind of constrained me a little bit. I could always use, if I redesign this, I could always just put another, move these and put another upgrade in and then use this one for something else, but we'll see. We're also using the sludge from these now, so the sludge, I won't get too close to it because it can poison you when it starts processing. It's not processing at the moment, but we're boiling up the sludge, and it will, oh, quick, turn away. Yeah, told you it poisons you. When you boil up that sludge, it mainly produces clay, but you've got a chance of making things like salt, sand and dirt and stuff like that. I only want the clay basically, so anything else gets sorted by the item router. Let's see if I can get in. So everything gets sorted by the item router. Quicksand and anything I don't want just gets voided, and the clay goes down. We've got two. We did have, I think, a blue electric furnace with solar panels. We've just changed over now to just standard thermal expansion powered furnaces, and we're now powering it, instead of from solar panels, we're just powering it straight from the steam itself. So we've got energy bridge coming down here, powering all the machines here. So we're powering these machines, and we're powering the boiler from that, and we're also running it back down here and powering these as well. And we've got fertilizers as well, and that's just been made over here with our little farm. And that, because that doesn't take much power at all, is just getting powered locally off the solar panels I did used to have here. So that's the changes we've made. This is making so much charcoal. I've actually had this off overnight, and it's still got half a diamond box full of charcoal. At one point we was making that much charcoal, I was just putting it into charcoal blocks, and I've got 16 of them, and one block of them is made by 9 charcoal. So we've got tons and tons of charcoal, kind of getting that under control now. But we've also got the clay as well, which I'll show you if we come under here, which is, we had all this tunnel system before, but it's a lot neater now. We're using it this way, so you can see the conduits coming in. Everything comes out of the farm, and it's just the apples and wood are going that way. The oak saplings are coming this way and going into here. If that's full, they're just getting voided. The same on that side. I might plan on doing something with the saplings, like making biofuel or something later on, but for the time being I just don't want them. The apples do come down here and they get voided as well. Again, I could do something with them in future, but it produces so many of them. If I do need them, I can just take the voiding off, and I will soon build that up. You can see the clay. I've again been making them manually, just into clay blocks, just to save on the space. And you can see that's producing clay. I'm going to eventually be using all that clay to turn into lithium, and then the lithium I'll store in a tank and use that to do a liquid boiler when I need more power. So that's where we're up to. We've also got a little mini applied energy stick storage system going on, only with a chest. I've not got any drives or anything, just a 1K storage. That's all I could make, and at the moment all I've got is my ingots and stuff in there. We are completely out of diamonds, no diamonds at all, just used them all up. I did have to use a lot of my coal. I did have a lot more coal than this to make more diamonds, because I was just getting to the point where I needed a quarry. So I've got a quarry going now, and that's in our mining age, which is over there. Dutch made it. It's a bit dark, to be perfectly honest. It's a cave system, but it's just like eternal dark or something like that. So that's where we're up to. I've spent most of my time in between this series and this episode and the last, really mainly just getting that sorted, that the boiler and the charcoal. At one point it was making enough and it kept going out, and it was terrible. So I've wasted a lot of time doing that. Now what I'm up to at the moment is I've made a few machines as well. I've got a plate bending machine, wire mill, I've got assembling machine as well, and a compressor, because I wanted that when I was making the diamonds, and we've got an industrial electrolyzer as well. I did have, or I thought I'd made, no actually, I was going to make a centrifuge, but I don't think I got round to it. But anyway, today I'm going to be sorting my power out, IC2 power. What I originally had here was this energy bridge. We've got the steam coming up here. We've got the energy bridge, and that was going into one of these low voltage ones. But then I realised when I put my industrial electrolyzer down that that's a max input of 128, and it really wasn't getting enough power. I've not got the continuous power option switched on because, again, I think it's a bit like the bronze thing. I know I keep going on about bronze. You get 4 ingots. You've got to get 4 ingots out. You can't just get 2 out. It doesn't make physical sense. The same thing with the not enough energy, and it goes back to square one. If I'm burning an item and it's part way through, if I run out of energy, I've got a part burned item. I don't start again. Or if I'm grinding something up and it's partly ground, I run out of energy. It doesn't revert back to its original state. It does make sense. So I don't have that switched on. I don't mind having nerfs on, which make logical sense, but nerfs for the sake of nerfing, I don't like. So anyway, rant over. What I wanted to have a look at was whether my original idea was to use this energy bridge, and I've got this low voltage energy IC2 producer on here, and I was just going to connect that onto my MFE, which I've made here, and then channel that going along to my industrial electrolyzer, then have a low voltage converter to take it off from there. But when I was up here, I just wanted to try something out, and this was new to me. It might be completely okay, you guys might have realised this already, but I've got the steam consumer unit, and then I've got the energy bridge, and I wanted to see whether I could have like a low voltage and a high voltage running off that, and it can. It does work. So because of that, I'm going to start redesigning this room a little bit. Instead of having the power coming in here, I'm thinking I'm going to have the power coming in at this point. So I can have like the consumer unit here to an energy bridge here, and then I can have a high medium voltage and a low voltage, so I can have my low voltage machines here and my medium voltage machines on this side. Kind of makes sense to me. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to knock this out and take these. Now I could probably do with that on just to make my life a little bit easier. of space. I don't need that dirt to get rid of it. No, I can't reach that. Oh. Oh. Oh, I've picked something else up now. Let's clean my inventory up a bit. Let's get rid of these dusts. Because that's what I was putting in the industrial light. Yeah, there we go. Picked it up now. And I don't want any rotting flesh. Right, so let us. Yeah, okay. We now want this coming up this central part here. So let's get rid of those. Gonna have to do that from upstairs. See, this is the problem. Next task, I'm gonna have to start building myself a jetpack, I think, because all this inability to fly around is rather annoying. So we want these coming in up to this point here. So let's see if I can just put that there so I can stand on it. Now how do I get down? You're going out for now. And put you back. It seems to constantly rain on this server as well. We was all talking about it yesterday. Spidey was like, it's just constant drizzle all the time. Never known a map to have so much rain. So we need our energy bridge next, and then we're going to have our medium power on that side. Oops, got it. And then on that side. Right. And then I can just have cables coming off the bottom of that and running to where I need them. So I can fill that back in. Now what I think I might do is not that. If I put my back box there and have that pointing down and do the same thing with my MFE and I'll put that pointing down, then at least I have some kind of. I've done that wrong. Well, obviously I've done it wrong because it's not. Oh no, I've not connected the steam. Yes, have I? Oh, sometimes it is early, and it's Father's Day, and I got all my prezzies. And just in case you're interested, I got a Ferrari California. Unfortunately not a real one, it's just a little toy. It came with some Ferrari aftershave, so I smell of Ferrari. Not today though, because I didn't put it on. I'm going to save it for, not for best, but I'll save it for other occasions than doing Minecraft videos. Sorry, it's not that I don't like you guys, but it's not smelly vision. You're not going to get the benefit. Yeah, so I've got that, and what else did I get? I got some chocolates. Always gratefully received. Dark chocolates as well. Love dark chocolate. Mainly because nobody else in the house likes dark chocolate, so I get it to myself. So there we go. It's going to serve as a battery. Well, it's going to. So it is a battery, so of course it's going to serve as a battery. Now, and this is another thing I've not messed around with this. Because I'm so short on diamonds, I'm not able to make any fibre cable, which I would normally use. And I know I've got some coal left over, but diamonds are in such short supply. I don't just want to use diamonds just on making cable. So I'm hoping, and I've never tried this before, does this take medium voltage? Right, well, it's not burnt out, so I'm assuming that answers yes. So these are all 32s. That's 32, that's 32, that is 32, and that's 32. So these are all my low voltage machines, which I can put... No, don't want that one there. That's my medium voltage machine. So that can go there, that can go there, and that can go there. And my... Okay, nothing blew up. That has got to be a good sign. Wonderful. Looks like it kind of makes sense now. What I'm doing there. Rain. The farm as well keeps taking random bits of wood away. If you notice, when I originally designed this, I had this nice logs edge running all down to it, but when you get to here, I'm just back to plain planks, just because trees grew and you just took all the logs out. So I'm planning on kind of, when I get some like fancy wood, like I've got some, the only fancy wood I've got at the moment is cherry. That's not quite as nice as what I was looking for. So when I get some nicer fancy wood, I'm gonna replace all this with that. So now I should be able to get what I was doing before, which was this. Is it galena? Okay, galena dust. I've got a clue what galena dust is, but and I should be able to put that in there, and it will go a lot quicker than it was before. Because before it was flashing on and off because it was on again low voltage. So yes, wonderful. So what else are we going to do today? Well, let me think about that. I'll have a kip. Alright, so I thought I'd show you our mining age. Like I said, it's a bit dark. A bit too dark for my liking. And I just don't understand Mistcraft. We just wanted a Mistcraft age, so I decided, right, okay, well, we'll switch off all the random ink sacks coming towards me. I'll gratefully received anyway. We'll just turn off all the safeties, you know, and just turn off that in the instabilities and just make an age, because it was just, we wanted a mining age just so we could, you know, not ruin the overworld. So turned all them off in the configs, and I also turned off mobs. You can put it like there's like a override, make everything peaceful. So we put that on, and there's still spiders and everything in here. So I just don't understand the mod at all. But anyway, we've got this running. Seems to have stopped at the moment. Still got power, so it just must have, yeah, it's just ended. What we're doing on here is, because I don't want to be inundated with cobble and dirt and that lot, I've got an item router. I love these item routers. You can probably tell because I keep using them. So everything comes down everything we don't want comes down the yellow route, that gets voided, and everything we do want goes in the chest. Oops. So I'm going to have to come in and collect the bits I want, and I don't want those bees, so we can get rid of you, and I don't want all this Zycraft's rubbish. I keep getting sticks, I don't know where sticks keep getting come from. Yeah, so that's what we've got at the moment. And more of those. So I'm going to tidy all this up and get it back mining again and get this processed back over here. So now I can just put all these in here and let that process. That just put some straight through, and then it just ends up into my AE system. So I'll start all that that quarry going again, and we'll be back a sec. Alright, I've decided what I'm going to do. You can see on the screen we've got this recipe from the industrial centrifuge from GregTech, and I had this set up in my last map, last SMP map. Don't know whether I showed you, we didn't really show you much on that one. But basically you pump in lava, and for that lava it produces 2 tin, 4 copper, electrum, and a little tiny bit of tungsten dust. And I like that because it gives us a lot of resources for not a lot of input, and especially if you've got access to the nether and some things like a liquid tesseract, you can just pump this in forever and you're getting tin, copper and electrum from it. It's fantastic. Now we've had a lack of endermen going on, so I've not got any ender pearls at all, let alone enough to make a couple of liquid tesseracts. So I was thinking of an alternative, and if we come down we can see we can use lava cans instead. And what GregTech does is, if we're using the still one, we're just getting 2 tin out of the lava, but if we use the cans we get 6 tin back, 4 being what would have produced the can, so again the tin back from the can. So it's kind of balanced, so I can go and make these tin cans, go to the nether, fill them up, put them in here, and I get my tin back. Now let's take that one step further. We have got all this pretty much useless aluminium in here from Zycraft. I can't use that aluminium in GregTech. I've got to use the alternative, which is this aluminium dust, and I can't make that into aluminium ingots without a blast furnace. Now, apart from making these aluminium torches, this aluminium is useless, but it will give me 4 cans. So using that recipe here, I'm going to get some tin back. I'm going to almost convert my aluminium into tin. I know it's a bit cheaty, but I don't care. It's in the game. They don't want it in, they'll turn it up. So basically I've got 64 cans there now of aluminium, which will end up converting to 4 times 4, 16. Oh, I'll get 16 extra blocks of tin for that. So it gives me a way of converting that aluminium into tin, which I like. So that's the way we're going to go. So an industrial centrifuge is just a couple of extractors, electrolyzer, magnetizer. You know, I'm sure I made one of these. That recipe just looks so familiar. Oh, that was the electrolyzer. I was looking at the wrong machine, no wonder. Right, okay, now we're looking at the right machine. So we need an extractor, 2 advanced circuits, some refined iron plates, and one of these, which at the moment it looks like it's probably going to have to be those advanced machine blocks, because I don't think we're going to be able, we might be able to make that steel hull, but we can't make the machine parts. Or we could make the machine parts, I suppose. Right, okay, tell you what, I'll make all this off screen, what I'll do is I'll make the component parts. I'll make all these off camera, and then I'll come back when we're just assembling the final machine. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so excuse me, we're in the old nether, and I'm just going to fill all these cans up. I've got 2 stacks of cans, so that should keep us going for a while. So I'll carry on doing this, and hopefully nothing comes behind me, shoots me and drops me into that lava, and we'll see you back in the overworld. Just thought while I'm sat here clicking on these blocks madly, I'm gonna test this out. So I'm gonna fill these up. Probably won't fill them all up, and if it kind of works and is kind of profitable, I'll set up something a bit more practical, like a pump and liquid transport and things like that, and we'll get this a bit more automated. But to be honest, you know what, that'll probably do for now. We'll get back. Okay, well, this seems to work. We've put it in. No doubt it didn't work. It was a recipe anyway. But you can see it's taking one kind of portion of 16 cans already. It's got another 16 that it's doing. And for that, like the recipe says, I got 6, 1, 4, and a little tiny pile of tungsten. So I've done the maths on this. I've converted all the aluminium I've got at the moment. Obviously I'm going to get more as I mine more, but at the moment I've got 3 stacks of 64 plus a 16, and I've worked out, this is not including what I've already got in there already, but for these cans I'm going to end up with 78 tin, 52 copper, 13 electrum, and 4 large piles of tungsten and 1 little tiny pile. Basically just for all these cans and filling them up. So I think it's worth doing, and if I can automate it, so much the better. So that's going to be what I'm going to do between now and the next episode, I think. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Still nobody on the server. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.